Welcome. Hey, podcast community. I'm Podcast Pete, and in the studio, we have a special guest. She's a young entrepreneur. She has created a store. She's out there making it happen, and I have asked her to be our guest on the show. So, Ellison, introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do, and then we'll get on with the podcast.
Hello, my name is Ellison, also known as Ellie from Ellies Clay Art. I am a clay artist and have been working with it for a couple months.
Wow, that's so awesome. So, just for a frame of reference, give our viewers a little idea of like how did you get started in this? I mean, because a lot of kids talk about opening up a store on Etsy, but very few do it. So, what inspired you to start the store?
Well, it's a long story, but I was sort of just on YouTube and I saw this person making a clay frog and I thought, oh wow, that looks really fun. So I got myself some clay. It took a little while to make it look like the frog, but I really liked it. So then after doing that, I made a couple other things and I really liked it. So I got more clay and just started, really liking it. So then my mom came up to me and told me that I need to start my Etsy shop. Just need to start an Etsy shop. And I was like, I don't think they're good enough. And, it was hard starting at first, just getting everything ready. But there's just a long story behind it that took a while and almost made me quit my business. So sort of what happened was, so I agreed with my mom and I said, okay, yep, we're going to do this. So what happened was I made some clay items and I was really excited. I was about to do this. But then, so you can put like this glaze and stuff on it. But unfortunately, I really messed up and all of my clay pieces fell apart when I went to go let it dry. They ripped apart and it was terrible. So I almost didn't start my business from that. It was just, it was just not going to work.
Yeah.
But then I tried one more time. Guess what? The same thing happened. It was all ruined.
Yeah.
But then after doing that, for a long time, just really messing up, that's how I perfected my stuff. And finally, I tried something new and putting new stuff on it, and it worked. And now my business is going great.
A lot of kids will give up when they have the first tough moment, when like it's falling apart and they say, man, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
But you worked through it. Was there something that you thought of, like, because to start a store at your age is very rare, and you're learning each day. What was the toughest part about deciding to continue? Did you like talk to your mom? What was really going through your mind for our audience to understand how tough it can be?
It was just I don't really have words. It was just very, very hard, and something that really encouraged me to keep going was somebody. So there's this clay artist called Uncomfy. She's a very professional clay artist. And I was looking at her stuff and how she made a bunch of mistakes, and everybody in their clay business makes a lot of mistakes. And it's just a part of life when you start making clay art and stuff like that. So I just saw how many mistakes everybody else has made, and I gave it one more shot, and I'm glad I did, because it's good to give stuff another try. Just keep practicing and keep working on it until you can actually make it perfect.
What would you say to, let's just say there's somebody listening to this and they're 10 years old and they're thinking about getting started in their own business? What advice would you say to them, what you've learned, and how you can maybe share with them some encouragement?
Well, what I've told to my friends and stuff who have made clay art and stuff is that you don't give up. Just keep trying. And if stuff isn't working out for you, I recommend you do not just give up right away. You got to keep trying until you finish what you started. Keep trying and trying and trying until you achieve what your goal is, and keep working.
That's so good. I remember when I saw your first well, I don't know if it was your first, but I saw a video where you were showing people and telling people. How did you get that kind of, because you were, you're educating people in your store. What was the thought behind that when you put that together?
Um, so what are you trying to say? It's like,
Say, like, were you like, did you get ideas from other people about, because you have to promote your business. That's where I'm going is you can't just open up a store and just hope people are going to come. You have to promote it. That was a promotional video. How did you do, what went through your mind as far as starting that and doing that?
it's just a lot of people over time who have done things like videos like that, and I've gotten a lot of stuff from them and other clay artists who sort of make those type of videos.
Yeah.
And I've learned to sort of take something, just things that they've done in their videos, and sort of do the same thing that they're doing, but still my own. So like just a lot of inspiration from everybody else who's done like professional videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people that there's no ideas that are original. We're always getting ideas from different people. I love that you kept an open mind. You were learning. You're learning from people that are a little bit further down the line. So when you talk about podcasting, what to get out there and talk about your story, let's go back a year. Were you like thinking, because you have a dog business and you've been doing real well in the dog business, what, and your dad's an entrepreneur, your granddad's an entrepreneur, you have a lot of entrepreneurs in your family, your mom's an entrepreneur. What would you say to people? Because it's so difficult, like you said, because you're failing, you're not, it's not going right. You said, well, man, it's crumbling. It's like most people would say, this isn't for me, but you went and you kept doing it. What do you do to get some of your ideas? Give our viewers an idea of how do you get your ideas?
I just sort of like it's not, I sort of just think, sort of look around me and just see what is happening in my life. So I have a dog business. Well, that's how I make my dogs. Like, there we go. There's something in my life that I want to create again. And guess what? My last name's Bear. Guess what? I'm just gonna make a bear. Like, there's just a lot of things, and things that I look around and see that I just want to create. So also a lot of inspiration from other clay artists that I've seen take what they have created but turn it into something that's my own. So not fully copying them, but just sort of getting the ideas from them.
Yeah. And I think you're right about the copying it. Everybody gives us ideas, but it's your own idea. You put the store together. Freddie, tell our viewers what was the inspiration behind Freddie, because Grandmommy got Freddie and she loves it. And so tell our viewers, and we're going to go to your store in just a minute to show people, but talk about Freddie and what was the inspiration behind creating Freddie.
Well, what I was saying is, in the beginning when I saw that clay frog, it looked very similar to it. So I just wanted to, sort of make it sort of similar from the first time that I started creating clay. So that was sort of it. Just taking that other frog, but just changing some details and, making it, just trying to remember that that was my inspiration from, when I first started and stuff. So that was sort of how I got the idea. And also just from the back of my head, and I'm just, thinking of other things that I can do for it.
Yeah. How do you go about thinking of ideas? Like, are you like getting up and you just start creating? Do you write it down? Do you think of it? How do you come up with your ideas?
I usually write it down. I think about it. So I restock every Thursday, and every single time that I do my restock, after that, I think of ideas. So I have to write down a list of 7-8 things. So I just think of it, and it takes me so long. I just got to think of things that I've seen and other things like that. And, the occasion, stuff like that. So I write it all down. Sometimes write a picture to see what I'm visioning, and I vision what I think it's going to look like. And then I go from that. And sometimes I don't even write it down, and I'm just like, what am I going to make? So I just go along the way, see what it ends up looking like and stuff like that.
I mean, you have a cousin, Vivi. You guys talk all the time. How is it like talking to her about just life and things? Tell our viewers about what a relationship is like with a cousin that's a little bit older, but not too far away. Give our viewers an idea of how that relationship has been going.
It's going great. It's just it's very nice to have somebody to always talk to, if you're not busy or anything. You just have somebody to always go talk to. And shout out to her because she is probably my biggest supporter. She's probably bought most of the things than anybody. I also want to give a shout out to my other cousin, Evelyn, who has also bought so much for me, and I really appreciate it. They've just supported my business so much, and it's just so nice of them to they keep buying. It's nonstop. I always tell them, no, it's fine, you don't have to, and they always just keep buying, and I want to say thank you to them for that.
Oh, that's so good to thank your customers, because we want to be appreciative of our customers. Now, what do you say we go to your store and we can show our viewers a little bit about your store? And let me see if I got it here. I do. Yes. Okay. So let me go over to this page because you can't always see that. Okay. So our viewers can see your store.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about our first item on the left here.
So actually somebody just bought that, so it went forward to the screen, but this is a pencil holder. So it's supposed to be sort of like my dog that I have. That was sort of the inspiration for that. And then this, if you see all the pink and stuff, this is all my new Coquette Boutique restock. So it's all pink and stuff. Yeah, that was a really good restock. And if you see the little peach frog down there, that is supposed to be
right here.
Freddie's brother. So it's
okay. Freddie has a brother.
Yes. So that is Peachy Froggy, his brother. So that's a very cute one. And yeah, so those are my new restock.
Okay. Now up here. Now, okay, before you go to that, how do you work your inventory? Like, what do you do? Do you have a way you do that? Like, you said that you'll do restock on a certain day and you do a video. Tell our viewers what that's like, is to continue to restock your store.
It's really great, but it's also a little bit almost a little bit hard because I normally sometimes have to delay my restocks because I don't get everything done. And it's honestly a little bit because you have to get all this stuff done. You have a week, and that's you're focused on that and trying to get all that stuff done. And then the other half was yay, I love making all this, but it's half really good, and then it's half a little bit But overall, I really like doing it. It's really fun, and it's something to look forward to in the week. If there's nothing I can do, well, let's go create my restock and let's go do this. So that's what I really love about creating restocks and not being like other people when they have to restock every month. But it's something people can look forward to, not having to wait every month oh, look, she's about to restock and stuff like that. So it's really fun getting to do restocks like other people who have clay business and stuff like that.
How do you, for our viewers who have never opened a store, when you we're looking at your store right here, what do you have to do? Do you post the pictures and then you put the description? Give an idea to our viewers what you have to do to restock.
So I'm just going to go from the top. So basically just starting off by writing everything down, obviously. Then we go and I create everything. It takes about maybe the whole week. Then I bake it, and then I glaze it, and then I have to take all the pictures. So I just have to take pictures of everything, do my restock video, post on my Instagram and stuff like that. And then I've got to post everything on Etsy, which is a super long process. You got to put the description in, you've got to put in how much it weighs, the shipping that I'm using, and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, so it's a decent amount of, I mean, it's a lot of work, but in the end, it's very nice to see the items that you create on Etsy.
Mm-hmm. Do you so you put them up there? We're looking at it on. You have your pencil holder right here. Does Etsy let you put them in this order, or do they just automatically go in
They
there?
just automatically go in there.
Okay.
So I'm assuming when somebody buys, that item's gonna go straight to the first one. So somebody actually just bought the
Okay.
puppy pencil holder. I also want to get a shout out to that person for buying that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. This is it. They just bought it and it was delivered yesterday, so
Ooh.
it's great. So yeah, I don't really get to pick the order they're in. Just
Yeah.
whatever recent items I put on there, they just go straight from the top.
Tell me about your shipping process. Like, do you get notifications? Because you told me when grandmommy was getting hers. So give our viewers who don't have an Etsy store, what's the tracking and what's the shipping like?
So I first get an order. I get like a notification that an order comes in. So then I just look at their address and stuff, and I just print the label and put in my packing supplies, tape it up, put it on there, and just ship it off to USPS. And it's a pretty simple process depending on how much items you have to ship out. But if it's just like one at a time, it really isn't that bad. And if you have such a small item like that, you can just put it in your mailbox. So you don't have to worry about shipping. It's very easy. And I don't really mind doing it. It's one of my favorite parts because it's just so easy and so fun to pack everything up.
What would you say if you're talking to somebody out there that's thinking about starting their own business? What encouraging word would you say to them that you've learned that you want to pass on to your friends?
As I said, just don't give up. That's the thing that I always have to tell myself when something goes wrong. Like just the other night when I had to delay my restock, I almost quit my business. Literally just, it took me, I hadn't got anything done. I was running low on clay, but I just had to tell myself, don't give up. It's fine. You're going to get through this and you're finally going to get your restock done. It's going to be okay. So that's the word I have to tell you guys. Just don't give up. If you give up, if you don't keep trying, then you're never going to succeed. So you need to just keep trying and keep working on it until you can achieve what your goal is.
That is, how do you feel like in your heart? Because to start something so cool, to have your own store on Etsy, what does that make you feel as far as to at your age, which I'll just say you're under 15, and you have your whole life ahead and you're starting your own business at a young age. Like, what do you feel like when you get an order and you ship it out? How's that make you feel?
Really excited and happy that people are supporting my business. It's just like there's so many people out there, and that person just happened to buy from my business. Out of all those clay artists out there, it just happened to be mine, and it's just really, really exciting. And I just feel really grateful when people buy.
Oh, that's so good. Now we are going to go to a place. I want you to share with our viewers how they can support you. And let's see, where is that? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So tell our viewers what's the name of your store and how could they go see the items that you have in your store.
So my store is Ellies Clay Art. So I would recommend searching, Polly Puppy Pencil Holder and just any items that you see on here. Search that title and it should pop up. If you see one of these pictures, you'll know. I also have a selection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have total of like 23 more items that you can see under this page. So go check those out as well when you find my Etsy store, and I would be very grateful if you buy. You can also message me for 10% off your order. So just when you hit that, just click on Ellison Baer and you can search up whatever. Just say like I want 10% off, and you can get 10% off your order if you're looking to buy.
Awesome. Do you have like on social media Where can they see some of your work on social media? Which platforms are you on?
I am on Instagram, so it's just at Ellies Clay Art on Instagram. You can go look at that. And nothing else quite yet, but I'm going to be getting on more.
That is so good. I mean, I love it that you, I want to commend you for starting your own business. I know you've been part of businesses in the past, but this is your own store. So again, I know you said it before, but I like to always, as we're winding down our broadcast, if the audience out there is a 10-year-old and they're thinking about starting their own business, how can you encourage them on your final couple thoughts on this podcast? What would you say to a 10-year-old that's thinking about opening up their own business?
I would say it's sort of up to you. Do you want to go and do all this, go through all this and take the risks to go and be out there on Etsy, or do you want to just not do it? Just ask yourself, what do you want to do? Do you want to start a business, or do you not want to? You got to ask yourself that. And if you want to, give it a shot. Go try, and just keep going, and just give it a shot, and just see how far you go, and just keep trying and see, and just give it a shot.
That is so good. Ellison, I want to thank you for being a guest on our podcast. And I want to invite you back for another podcast, because what we just like you said, encouraging them to start and get going, because the more people that are in their own business, the better. And you're on the Women in Business podcast. So I want to encourage our viewers, share this with people that you know. So, the more younger people that start businesses, the better we are as a country. And so is it easy? No. But if it was easy, everybody would do it. But you just have to, what Ellison said, just work through it. Just never stop. Just always keep going forward. So before we wind down, did having a dog breeding business have anything to do with you starting this business? Did you see that and decide you want to continue? So our viewers can understand that business is an evolution.
It was sort of in the middle. That wasn't really the reason that I started, but items that people have bought have been inspired by my dogs. So maybe they wouldn't have bought those items if I wouldn't have put them because they were inspired by my dogs. I don't know. So yeah, I just sort of started because I wanted to. It wasn't really about my dog business, but there's stuff that sort of led me in the right direction to starting a business, but it wasn't fully about my dog business.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, Ellison, I love it. I want to go back to our screen. So here it is, Ellies Clay Art. That's how you get to her store. So share this with people you know. Great gifts, great items as we get into the holiday season. Everybody likes unique art. And so share this with people you know and let people know about Ellison's business. Ellies Clay Art, the creator of Ellies Clay Art, Ellison Baer, I want to thank you for being on our show. Would you agree to come back to do another podcast with us?
Of course.
Oh, wow. That's so good. So audience, you heard her. She's going to be back. So you're going to be able, if you have questions for Ellison, and you're kind of thinking about starting your own business and you want to ask her some questions, put it out there. You can go to her Instagram account and you can DM her. And that way, if you have a question about starting, we're going to talk about the journey more, because we want to encourage young entrepreneurs to get started and just, even though it's hard, because it's easy just to not do anything, but it's hard to create, put this together, put the pictures, put yourself out there, because there's businesses out there, but you have done it. And I'm proud of you as a granddad that you're out there doing it, starting a business and being an entrepreneur at such a young age. So Ellison, I want to thank you. What would be your final word for our viewers today?
Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully y'all are looking to maybe go to my shop. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next podcast.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ellison. We appreciate you. Thank you for being on our show, taking time out on your Saturday to be on a podcast. Most kids are playing. You're on a podcast sharing your story. We'll get in more to your story at a later podcast. So thank you so much. We appreciate you being on the show.
And don't forget, I restock every Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Thank you, Ellison.